welcome back to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions, your home for all things psycho. Today I'm taking a look at I think this is quite a rarity. I know I often say that. I know I'll say, oh, this is a rare book and blah blah blah, but you can probably kind of find it in many dollar bins. I've never seen this around. I don't know anything about it. I've looked it up. I can't really find anything about it. Does anybody know anything about this book? Rook? So, this is an independent comic that was made in the early 90s. And it's, wow. I mean, I actually, in taking a look through this, probably could have thought this would have been made in the 80s. Because a lot of comics in the 90s, indie comics, small press comics, everybody was always trying to replicate like Rob Liefeld or Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee style artwork. This is just like, wow, it is all over the place. This is a thick book. I didn't realize it when I picked it up either. So I actually found this in a flea market. It was literally in this giant, like, huge area where there's just all these bins of comics. Most of them were just all like crap, just anything you could get, Marvel, DC, whatever you could pick up anywhere. And then like deep in this bin, underneath all these other bins, like in this dusty corner, I found it, and it was just stuck in there. And I was like, "What is this? This looks like literally something that was just drawn by my own hand as a kid." And this like gaudy zipatone like background, and this just sketchy, like, what? America's Best Dressed Hero, 100% all in. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. This is done by Jim and Bob McSherry. Now what's great about this is they actually, I have it signed. It's signed by Jim McSherry, and it's one of those things where only so many copies have been printed. They had a limit of 3,000 copies, and this is the 1,653rd copy out of 3,000 somewhere out there. This drawing is probably the more sophisticated drawing out of this entire book. And what's great about this is they did not draw the comic size in accordance with the printing of the comic itself. So there's this it's off centered, and this giant like white space at the bottom of like every page. And so much fun. I mean, so Jim McSherry puts a statement in the back. I wish he would have put it in the front, but he writes a statement in the back. And this character Rook was just kind of made while they were. Oh, Bob McSherry, the writer, makes a statement. It's literally just a character him and his brother made up while they were on family trips to while away the boredom. In 1989, he said, is when they made it up. And Jim writes a statement here where he's like, "Yeah, I know the artwork in this sucks." He was actually going to art school, it looks like, or getting some art tutoring at the time. But he's like, "Yeah, I know this is all lame." But what's funny is, his emphasis was on the tie of Rook, and the dynamic flair of it that exists in all the panels. And he's like, if Rob Liefeld can have his hair and Todd McFarlane can have his capes, I can have my ties. Well, amen, Jim McSherry. And kudos to you for just being outright like, yeah, I know the work on this sucks. I've got a long way to go, but at least I made a comic. And I'm like, fucking right you did, sir. 54 pages. 52 pages of comic. where to begin with this. I don't even. I don't. Ugh, I feel like I even need to bring the camera closer because so much of the white space at the bottom takes up, and I want you to be able to see the artwork. So I bring the camera closer to so you can see the artwork way better, and it is just odd. Um, so it starts out on Wall Street. There's all these like just weird scenes of things happening on Wall Street. They even incorporated, so when he just knew he couldn't draw something, he's like, just give me a photograph. I'm putting that. It'll. Um, the lettering bubbles are these hard, like hard line Sharpie marker um, bubbles, but yet the panel borders are all very small, very they're very thin, and just like these random conversations that are happening with people. This is hilarious, and he just has these like really great scenes of these faces where sometimes he's really trying, and other times I'm like, what are you doing? What am I gonna say to Kathy? Hi honey, we're broke. Like, what? There is this guy that is kind of mixed up in the midst of all this. Now, this was a long comic. It was really hard to pay attention to, and it was really, there was a lot I was having to decipher, which is very power comic-y. Look at the way this guy is just sitting on the couch, like with his remote control. Um, Only 3 months behind on my rent and only one beer. Like, what? Um, you know, you know what I would really like? I would really like for Evan Husney on the Power Comics channel um, to read this whole thing out loud, to like hear it in his voice. And that's what I had when I was like reading this. I was like listening to Evan Husney because he's a great storyteller, he's a great reader. um, so essentially there's all this like, the story is there's all these Wall Street shenanigans going on. I don't really understand the details of all of that. We do get the introduction to this like Rook style character who's like kind of taking out some criminals who all have X emblems. So I guess that's a shot at mainstream comics, I guess. Um, and yeah, so that he's just got this like mask on, and he's all dressed nice and whatnot. I mean, just look how sporadic the artwork is. Like the style even changes, and then there's these like really rough hewn zipatone, like that at times where the zipatone's like cut out like really rough and just added in these like weird shapes. And then there are times when he just comes in with a heavy marker and he's just scribbling, and I don't even understand fully what's happening. This guy is talking to this girl. Okay, yeah, a guy is talking to this girl, and then you get these like really weird close-ups of like, is that ballpoint pen? And the eyes of these characters are just fucking insane, hella incredible. So there's some sort of scenario where this guy is some sort of a gambling criminal mob dude. I'm not exactly sure. That's such a great image. You're a bastard. You know that? That would make an amazing T-shirt, right? You're a bastard. You know that? I love looking at Power Comics and trying to find out like a panel that would just randomly make a great T-shirt. So anyway, he takes out his boss, actually. So he's like basically taking over as the big boss, and I'm the head of all the families now, and blah 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 blah. It's funny. This girl's like walking in, and she's like, "Mr. Ramayo, I'm teehee here for dictation," but she's like coming to, you know, whatever. Um, This lady is freaky. This lady is like apparently the news person that shows up, and she's always like this creepy Joker smiley face. Casino owner and suspected mobster Joe Romeo was found shot to death in his office this morning. Police have no suspects at this time. The only clue the police have is an ace of spades playing card found body shirt pocket, so like things cut off here, but she's just always, no matter what she's saying, she's just so this dude's taking power of all the other bosses and the people who own the casino or whatever, run the casino. He's like the new boss. I guess you can just do that in a company. God, that face is amazing. I love the word bubbles. And so Rook, I think, is used to work there or has worked there. He knows something's up. This is really great. Everybody in the boardroom is second guessing him, and this is him shooting. It's just braka 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 braka, and then you just see all their heads, but one guy's head splattered. Is what that is. And then we get this interesting casino scene. This is really weirdly done. It's really hard to figure out what's. I thought he was walking up to like a diner or something, but this is a casino, and it's really hard to kind of tell that like what he's doing is he's walking into the casino and going to the big boss's area where he has all these TV screens, and having a to have a conversation with them. I don't understand at all what was happening here, other than somehow Rook ended up um, tussling with this dude and chasing after each other. I don't even understand how the scenario worked out. It was a very, very hard read. I mean, I really had to focus. I had to, go back and try to figure out what's even going on here. That's interesting, but like the interplay between scene to scene was like what, and then then this like random kind of stuff here, just really sequentially, it's just all over the place. But every image is also so dynamic and so fun and so interesting. So anyway, Rook has a tussle with them, and it goes on. He finally comes face to face with them because he was fighting his like henchmen and stuff. Some kind of explosion happens, and Rook starts chasing him on foot. The guy gets in a car and is about ready to hit Rook, and I think this is Rook getting hit by the windshield. He's freaking out, runs into a wall. I think that's his hand coming through the windshield, and are you going to arrest me? No, I'm going to kill you. Thank God. But why? I'm a harmless businessman. And then he just this whole thing becomes this typed out harmless my ass. I'm so sick of people like you with your empty promises and money making schemes. You prey on the stupid and innocent. Double your winnings, you say. Your number may come up yet. Just one more game. The next thing you know is you have to face the family because you're broke. The game in both our worlds is addictive. I see it every day, millionaires to paupers in a matter of hours. I've heard the screams behind the glass towers at 5 o'clock. There are chumps in my world, and your world lives to exploit them. He said your world twice. And I think my world would be better off without you in it. Nice speech. Thanks. It's just like, where did that come from? Like, what? It's like very, like, not really sure. Again, it's like Zipatone. Here's a police officer coming up, kind of interrupts them, and the Zipatone's not even like cut out to the exact specifications. Um, love that face. Really cool. And he's just always jumping around, his tie flying. Whee! And then this was like the whole thing, the whole sequence of this. Um, he's like, there, finally. Like, what do you mean? He's running down this alley, and he says, there, finally. Okay, punk, hold it right. And then this motorcycle comes up, and then he says, sure, and Bagora. Is that what that says? Sure, and oh, come on, sure, and Bagora. I guess so. I I have no idea what that means. Um, and then I don't know what he's doing there, but goodbye, boys. So I guess he's taking off on the motorcycle, but I don't know what that's supposed to look like. Um, and then these two somehow converge. Somehow. Um, what a face. And then so Rook goes home. His girlfriend knows he lives with his girlfriend. She fully supports him as Rook. Even like helped make his costume. So they're talking about there's the creepy TV girl again. Um, and then this mobster guy has these playing cards that are bombs. I guess like each card is like a miniature bomb. So he brings this dude in who did a good job with security and kills him. I think, yeah, throws it and kills him. Keeps calling him Dick, Dick, because his name's Richard, but he keeps saying looks can be conceiving, Dick. That's your problem, Dick. It's just like bolded and underlined every. It's like never trust your eyes, Dick. I'm like, okay, we get it. Um, so a deck of playing cards gets shipped to Rook's house, and Rook sees that and is like, this must be this dude, so I'm going to go chase after him. Leaves the playing cards there. And the police are then looking at a deck of cards. And they realize, oh, it's a bomb. We got a call on this afternoon. Huh, that's the address of the exploding casino and the bread guy's body. I don't know who the bread guy was. I didn't catch there being a bread guy at all. And then this dude just goes, a 1D bread guy? With this like Japanese flag behind him. A 1D bread guy? Like, what? Bailey and I found his truck a few blocks away. Blah, I don't know what 1D bread had to do with anything. Then we get the random girl coming in. So anyway, I guess these are all bombs. They figure out all these playing cards are all bombs. They're supposedly all over the city. But Rook is on his way to hunt down the dude, the mob dude. The mob dude even televises, I'm about ready to do this. Little bombs everywhere. And then boom. The whole city, there's all these little explosions all over the city. Like, wow. So they really put in the effort on this one. This is like solid effort. Really cool. Really cool. But then we got some randomness. I have no idea what's happening here. Who that is even, because that's not Rook. Somebody's yelling after Rook. Then I think the cop's car exploded. But essentially, his girlfriend was killed because the cards were left at her house, at their house. So she was killed, or she was supposedly in the explosion. But apparently she survived, but just barely. But he doesn't. He's all. So now he's like Gina, and is gonna hunt down this mob guy for good and end this. So this was weird. He goes into the casino, And where is he going? What is this? What's happening here? Is that a carpet? And they use some kind of weird zipatone psychedelic. I think that's a balcony, and looking down, this is that is wild shit, and that printed in a very interesting way. I mean, I like it, but holy crap, it was that confusing to read and to figure out what's going on, especially after you tried to read this word for word diligently for like almost an hour. It took me. So they go at it, they tussle, they're talking smack, they're talking shit. It goes pretty quickly from here, except it's just like pages and pages of him being in this room. Like he's like trapped in this room. The psychedelic carpet isn't really there anymore, and then all these like playing cards are being shot at him, and he's just like dodging them. And he's just talking, won't shut up. Eventually, he is able to escape the room by just escaping the room, I think. No special way. He shoots a body thinking it was the guy, but it was like that dead guy he killed earlier, actually, that the mob guy killed earlier, who failed at security or whatever. And there's a note on there. Looks like I've played my last card. Dealer. His name's Dealer, I guess. The mob dude. And it's like, shit, he's mad. And then the whole place blows up. So it blows up Rook, but he's able to survive completely. Ouch. Get out. Sirens. Is this the same guy? I guess so, because he takes off his mask and armor. Because he has armor underneath. And that's how he survived. Ditch the armor. Pass out. This image is so funny. And then the, like, wow. Pass out. And then that's it. So he wakes up. Where's Gina? What happened? Where am I? Bentop Hospital. We brought a woman named Gina from the suburbs. She's stable but severely burned. You can ID her when you're better. As for what happened, watch TV. I'm not going to explain anything to you. Watch TV. And then it's Psycho Girl. Explosions rocked part of the city last night. Police fire officials say 20 people were killed and 300 people were injured when 26 bombs went off. La, 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 la. And then the mob dude named Dealer is like, haha, they think I'm dead. So he's going to possibly make a return. So that is Rook. Jeez. Louise. Houston, Texas boys. So that is, I mean, I could go into this further and further. I'm going to offer Evan Husney, Gabe, Ruben Dykle, Ben Mara, whoever. I'm going to offer to the Power Comics channel, if you want to cover this on your channel, just hit me up and I will send this to you, because I can't imagine this is a book many people have. And I would love to have a reading with Evan going through this. Evan and Gabe. Gabe should be the bad guy, the dealer, and Evan should read the Rook part. Or something. That would be fun. Alright. Anyway, that's Rook. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for more notifications. And I have my own comics you can buy on my shop. Hope everybody is staying safe out there and keep it psycho.